That's why I tell you this. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder. And he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. Let me sing it again. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder. And he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. I give you my counsel because I want to see all you young people live righteously. That's why I'm concerned. So watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. Yeah, yeah. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder. And he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. To all my sons and daughters in Germany, pass auf, meine Kinder. Pass auf, meine Kinder. Da ist jemand, der heißt Lucifer, hat eine Tüte mit weißem Puder. Aber will dein Gesicht nicht pudern, denn bringt den Menschen nur Schlechtes. Oh, you're young and your future is ahead of you. Right or wrong, sweet or sour, depends on what you do. Taking the wrong direction will drain your constitution and promote mental chaos and confusion. Then corruption to gain a man, and that is not God's plan. Cuidado, mis hijos, to my Spanish children. Cuidado, mis hijos. Hay un hombre que se llama Lucifer con una bolsa de polvo blanco. Y él no quiere empolvar tu cara, pero para traer pena y desgracia para la raza humana. To my French children. Attention, mes enfants.
Attention, mes enfants.
Attention, mes enfants.
Attention, mes enfants.
Il y a quelqu'un appelé
Lucifer avec un sachet de poudre blanche. Il ne veut pas saupoudrer vos visages, mais apporter honte et détresse à la race humaine.
To my East Indian children, they call me rebel child.
I'll be down by the river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day. Oh yeah, three singing birds told me, by sunrise he's always there in the morning, praying and blessing the day. I've heard about this little tale long time ago, but never had the faith to believe in my soul. Now Mother Nature sent to me three little birds, singing a song, convincing me it was so. Now I'm on my way. Anyone come to see me this day, tell them I'll be gone for the day. I'll be down by the river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river,
see this world running shouldn't have to be, 'cause now every man's cup is filled with hate and overflowing.
All right, pleasant good evening. As we are about to begin this evening's proceedings, we ask that you please stand for the national anthem.
From the love of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, highlands of the blue Caribbean Sea. This our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. August 14th is election day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready?
To vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. From Arima Government, this is a special joint platform with the NTA political leader Griffith and Jack Warner, plus a special prime time address by UNC political leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Welcome to the UNC local government election campaign.
Ah, yes, indeed. Blessed evening to each and everyone. UNC NTA family, good evening. Good evening, Arima. And the UNC political leaders asking the question, are you ready? I believe you are. I believe you are. Up first this evening, we have welcome remarks by the chairman of the Arima Constituency. Please put your hands together and welcome Dr. Bagan.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14th, vote for UNC.
Good evening, Arima. Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Mr. Gary Griffith, Political Leader of the NTA, MPs, Senators, prospective councillors, and everyone who's been gathered here tonight. A special welcome to Mr. Austin Jack Warner. It has been 8 years since our esteemed leader and the UNC bandwagon has rolled into Arima. But in this case, the absence has made us fonder, and we love her 8 times as we did in 2015. We are now 4 days from Monday night, when the future of this chartered royal borough will be determined. But in order to do this, everyone must come out and vote. Don't tote, vote in Arima. Bring out your friends, family, and even your enemies, because on the 14th of August, you'll have one enemy, and that is the PNM. We stand here tonight at the cusp of a great victory. But don't get complacent. Only the votes in the ballot box will be counted. When you get adequate 2 or 3 hours extra, don't plan a Maracas Lime, a Cora Valley, Lupino, because 5 or 6 of you may go who have to go there, and when it counted on that night, we find out we lost by 2 votes. So, in order to do this, everyone must go and vote. Work hard and stand in line on Monday the 14th, and we will all have a good time on the 15th. Too many times in Arima, we never really had a chance. But this election is different. This election, we can really win this borough back. Not just 3 seats or 4 seats. We are going to win all 5 UNC seats in Arima. And I have found out that the NTA is working, and we hope to sweep all 7 seats in this Arima Borough Council. Forward ever, backward never. Let us bring UNC back into good governance in Arima. I thank you.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14th, vote for UNC.
Oh, yes, indeed. A round of applause again for Chairman of Arima Constituency, Dr. Bagan. We now have welcome remarks from the chairman of the Dabidi Umera constituency, UNC NTA family. Put your hands together and welcome Ms. Vidya Mahabir.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14th, vote for UNC. Make the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC.
Good evening, my UNC family. Are we ready to take back the borough of Arima? we are. I bring you greetings on behalf of the constituency of Dabadi O'Meara. I want to say a warm welcome to our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. We love you dearly, and Arima Borough has been anxiously awaiting your visit. Welcome to Arima. Also, a hearty welcome to our MPs, senators, and you, our UNC activists. A special welcome to the dynamic Captain Gary Griffith, our political ally and leader of the NTA. Welcome to my political mentor in my early days in politics, a gentleman who I worked closely with, the man who has the PNM running scared, Mr. Austin Jack Warner. I myself, having served as a councillor in the Arima Borough Corporation under the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, can say that the borough was well served by our councillors. The record will show of the achievements between 2010 to 2013. In fact, we served so much that we were called the box drain government, the roundabout government. But today I stand proud. I am proud that we were called those names. It means that we were working. We were always working. Unlike now, where we have no hope, we have to pray to get a box drain or a pothole patch. Today, the work done by the Dabadi O'Meara executive has paid off. We can safely say that our candidates, Lyndon Digans, Nigel Moses, and Denal Peters, will bring home their seats to the United National Congress. And so too in Arima, Jazzy and Ryan. We also expect the NTA candidates in Calvary and Malabar South to bring home their seats. Because we have been working on the ground, the teams have been working and walking and collecting data with our candidates, and the response is tremendous. But let us on August 14, go out there, cast your vote overwhelmingly for the UNC and the NTA so that we could return the Arima Borough Corporation to the mandate of our political leader of serving the people and to get rid of the non-performing PNM. Let us secure our beloved country. Let us secure our people. And in closing, by doing so, we would be sending a clear message to the PNM that come general election 2025, they would be replaced with a team led by our esteemed political leader as Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar for effective governance. They would be replaced for effective governance in Trinidad and Tobago. So I am making an appeal to everyone here on August the 14th. Don't sleep late, get up early, go out and vote. Don't wait till after lunch. We want to know we win by lunchtime. All right? Go and vote early. Okay, so we are expecting to be back in the borough, so in that borough. Thank you.
It's time for win. To be the better to my team. It's time for win. To vote for the UNC. Let me tell you.
applause for Vidya Mahabir, please. Let me just say, we must acknowledge the hard work of our deputy political leader and Senator Jolene John and the entire team, and of course the executive here in Arima, hard-working team. Our next speaker is a lady who understands that giving up is not an option and failure is not an option. She made it quite clear that this meeting has and will take place along with her team. UNC NTA family Arima, please put your hands together for one of our top coordinators, Miss Flora Singh.
To our brothers and sisters here tonight. Good evening to our packed house tonight. Good evening to our UNC family from far and near. Welcome to the borough, the Royal Chartered Borough of Arima. It is my honor and my pleasure to introduce one of our candidates for the upcoming local government election. Who is this young man? Who is Atiba? Atiba is a young business entrepreneur who lives and who born in the community and electoral district of Tumpuna. He is an activist for the youths. He nurtures and fosters young people, especially in sports, and he loves football, and that is one of his strong points, where he take the young people, the young men in the community where he was born and grow up, to help foster them in the area of sports. Atiba, commonly known and fondly known in his community and his electoral district. I would like to present to you our winning candidate and our next councillor to the Borough Corporation, coming from the electoral district of Tumpuna. Fondly known as Atiba.
Good night, everybody. Tumpuna, how are you feeling? Hello, where's the roof? All right, as I say, good night, everyone. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. My name is Dinel Atiba Peters, and I stand here before you tonight to be the next councillor for Tumpuna Arima. Make some noise, guys. A lot of you see Dinel and you guys probably thinking, who is Dinel? Well, I'm here to tell you. I'm here. All right, I'm here, guys, to tell you that I come to deliver the youths of Tumpuna to a brighter future. Under this wicked government of PNM, we're going to bring back the youths, bring back the togetherness. For all who know me, guys, I'm very passionate with the youths. I'm very passionate with sports. And me being a young man in my community, this is where we used to meet and greet with a lot of friends. And I see this connection in the youths, of where the youths are engaging in criminal activities because they're hungry, because they have no connection, they have no direction, they have no leader. We have no representative under the PNM government, guys. So I, Denel Atiba Peters, take the stand to come forward and represent and bring the youth of Tumpuna and the community. A proper representative is coming. Not only that I want to give the youths a chance, but I am here to deal with the burgesses of my community as well. Poor road, poor street lights, all this sort of stuff I'm going to be representing. I'm going to be forward. I'm going to be accessible. I'm going to be here ready to serve you, the people of Tumpuna. You guys need proper representation. And I am here, Denel Atiba Peters, remember the name. I am here. I need you to call on me at any time. Call on me at any time. I will answer the phone. You guys, I'm not only here as a future councillor, I am here as a friend, I am here as a father. I need you guys to come to work with me together to bring back this loving community that we have. From start to finish, we have to build it together. And only one umbrella we could build this community back together under is the United National Congress. You guys need to come on board. So with me as you guys' representative come the 15th of August. And I tell you guys, come out. Do not sleep late. Wake up early, like 12 o'clock. We must know that Denel Peters is the new councillor for Tumpuna, Arima. Call out everyone. We need everybody to come out. So you guys in closing, I just want to say thank you for the support in advance. And raise your hands for the next councillor, Tumpuna, Arima.
It's time for we to vote for the UNC. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Stand your ground now for you and your family.
Well done, Atiba. Denel Peters, hold your applause for a second. Just hold your applause for a second as I introduce our next candidate, coming from Arima North East, a hard worker on the ground. Brothers and sisters, I want you to welcome on stage the man who grew up in Sherwood Park, commonly known as the Congo. He worked at First Citizens Bank and currently a part-time lecturer, tutor at the University of the West Indies. Jaizino has pledged to work tirelessly to return the burgesses of Arima Northeast to a safe and enriched quality of life. Your candidate and your next winning candidate and councillor for the Arima Borough Corporation, put your hands together and let's welcome
Everybody quiet? Nice. How is my UNC family going tonight? I want to hear, how is my UNC family going tonight? Nice. I will bypass the protocol because I only have 5 minutes, so I'm not going to introduce much people and things, okay? Before I came here to this meeting, I took a rest and watched a movie called London Has Fallen. And I say, but wait, Trinidad and Tobago has fallen as well under a thief-and lying government led by the Rowdy administration. And Trinidad has fallen, right? But now, I want to explain something about our facts. Facts are defined as things about as known proof to be true or truth about events as opposed to interpretation. And let me tell you, in 2010 to 2015, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago saw a quality of life that was second to none under the best female leader, the Caribbean Latin American region political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. There is no denying that, because that is a fact. And you cannot interpret facts. So no matter what Rowley say or the parents say, you cannot beat facts. Okay? Now, in my budgets, while I was walking around, besides infrastructure, drainage, mosquito, fly, snail, who want to walk, I had a problem with from the education aspect. What I saw was basically I talking to 17 and 18-year-olds and they can't hold a proper conversation. That is poor. And that is a representative of an education system that has failed under the PNM regime. In 2010 and 2015, the Honorable political leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, gave laptops to everybody. She had an education. How much schools she built? 106 schools. Am I lying? No. That is facts. Okay? No. In my board, it says no also, there is poor representation. Nobody representing them. They're desperate. They want help. They need help. They, oh God, Jazzy, I don't know what to do. Oh God, the PNM is passing. They're cleaning my drain. I said, don't worry. Because when you vote the Fantastic Five into power, we will give you representation. Now, while I have only 5 minutes, I only like the quote, I only like how we're talking, but here we're going on. I must offer some solutions. One of my solutions is innovation in young people. And I intend to hold and partner with the UNC government to have competitions in science and mathematics because we need innovation. And that is the thing we are lacking in Trinidad and Tobago. Quantitative, technical, and science and agriculture. We need all those things. We need mass communication because we need innovation. Okay? Another thing, I want to bring back adult classes in Arima. And you see these schools that they have, they close from Friday to weekend and the lights run in these schools. What I want to do is to give my boys in Arima use of the school throughout the weekend so people can play football, play draft, play chess, and have all those engagements. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to partner with you. I speak to them. We have a set of drains and bridges that we need building, and we have a ministry that works to me. I don't know what the engineers doing. I want to partner with the university students so they can design bridges as their final year projects instead of doing theoretical frameworks all the time. And I want to be short and I want to wrap up. Just remember people to hear today. You see that Fantastic Five? When you get up in the morning, I want you to take a picture of all of us because 20 years from now, this Fantastic Five will create history and they will speak of us in the future. Go, long live the UNC and long live the Honorable Leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I thank you.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC.
Thank you, Jaizino Rigsby, the candidate for Arima North East. Our next candidate comes from Arima Malabar North. Lyndon, Mr. Malabar, have been advocating for the right to better quality of life for citizens more than 25 years. He has gained popularity as a radio activist known as Mr. Malabar. He has over 25 years in union involvement, a medium through which he hosts a radio program entitled EPA Speaks. He holds a bachelor's degree in security administration and management and a management certificate from the City of Guilds of London. He is an experienced and qualified security professional for over 30 years. He is a former track and field athletic and has participated in several sporting activities discipline at club level. Brothers and sisters, put your hands together for our candidates for Malabar North, Lyndon Diaz.
It's time for win. To be a better team. It's time for win. For the UNC. Let me tell them. August 44 for UNC. To secure your family. August 44 for UNC. That's the way to secure your country.
UNC family, what is the code? What is the code? Yellow is the code and we're going all the way to victory. Yellow is the code and the road to victory. The Honorable Political Leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Members of Parliament, Senators, Mr. Jack Warner, Gary Griffith, Leader of the NTA, fellow candidates, friends and family of this great party called the United National Congress, good evening. We have seen and we have heard the litany of problems affecting our burgesses. The wanton and willful neglect of roadways, recreational facilities, security lighting, lack of development and scholarship opportunities, occupational health and safety hazards, about a few of the plethora of concerns that I assure you will be a thing of the past under a United National Congress / NTA control corporation. One of the major concerns plaguing this borough is the irregular supply of water. By now, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago ought to know that Arima means what? Water. Arima means water. And the whole, but in this once beautiful, pristine, crime-free borough, under the People's National Movement controlled corporation, crime flows in our communities more than water. Blood flows in our streets more than water flows from our pipes. Under a UNC NTA control corporation, we will provide a more secure standard of living by ensuring water for all in Arima. After August the 14th, Arima will live up to the meaning of its name. Arima has been a forgotten borough for far too long. And communities like Malabar have suffered long and hard enough as a result. Basketball courts are without lights. For several years, the toilet facilities in Phase 2 basketball court pose a serious health hazard to our sporting youths. Out of order, I say. The time has come for pragmatic change. It is now. It is now. Now is the appointed time to make the right choice. And allow me and the UNC NTA team this sacred opportunity to reconfigure the face of Malabar to the place that we can all be proud of. The Bible says, without a vision, my people will perish. You don't have to perish any longer at the hands of the visionless People's National Movement. I have a vision to create a senior citizens activity center. Our senior citizens have suffered neglect for far too long. They are the gems in our society. Many of them are equipped with the help of knowledge, counsel, and wisdom, from which we can all benefit. There's life after retirement. And we of the UNC will make this right. I welcome to this auditorium the Honorable Mr. Jack Austin Warner. of Arima and Malabar, my vision is to create a skills bank that will make it easier to track and locate skilled personnel for employment opportunities and scholarship programs. The youths of Malabar and Arima, by extension, will realize their fullest potential to combat the exponential increase in crime owing to a lack of care programs under a PNM-controlled corporation. To achieve this, I will create meaningful partnerships with the business community. And with water flowing in our pipes, finally, we can securely drink water and mind our own business in Arima. I will create partnership with NGOs, national sporting cultural agencies, visual and performing arts institutions to open windows of opportunities for the youths as a positive and necessary alternative to a life of crime. For far too long, our youths have suffered condemnation from the mouths of those who have contributed to creating the fertile environment for crime and juvenile delinquency. Under a United National Congress, NTA-controlled corporation, the youths of Arima will never be referred to or treated as a pack of hyenas in a jungle, but they will be treated with a care, concern, and security akin to a shepherd shepherding the sheep. We will steer them in a direction that will bring encouragement and hope of a brighter and secured future in Arima. My UNC family, Arima shall be set alight with the yellow rays of the hope of the rising sun. This nation that has been thrown into an abyss of ashes and decay over the last 8 years shall arise once again as we stand unitedly against this thieving, lying, common enemy called the People's National Movement. This election is no ordinary election, people. There are too many evidence of poor management for anyone to be caught in a dilemma of no vote. I am not voting. Know that dilemma. Too much. We must stand our ground and vote resoundingly against this wicked, heartless government. And as I close, I say stand your ground against high unemployment. Stand your ground against the decadence of uncontrolled murders and corruption. Stand your ground against juvenile neglect. Stand your ground against promises never materialized. Stand your ground, and light them up with your finger of democracy come August the 14th. Let's rebuild. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, folks. A round of applause again for Donnell Peters, Jazzy Rigsby, and Lyndon Diaz. And just to let you know that our General Secretary, Mr. Folks, let's welcome once again Mr. Austin Jack Warner and NTA political leader Gary Griffith. And our General Secretary of the UNC, Mr. Peter Kanai, sends his greetings. He's, of course, in San Fernando preparing for the big rally on Saturday. So a round of applause to the entire team in San Fernando preparing for Saturday. Our next speaker is a very committed and dedicated individual. He works in the realm of perfection And sometimes you'll see him moving up and down. He's like the James Brown of politics, one of the hardest working coordinators. He's an attorney at law, a key legal advisor to the party, and of course a member of NATEX. UNC, NTA, Arima, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Brian Big.
UNC family! UNC family! Good night! Arima, good night! W. Mera, good night! Yellow is the code. Blue is the code. Arima Borough has gone of the way of the United National Congress and that of the NTA. Myself, my team with Flora Singh, Vishnu Kunkun, Vidya Mahabir, we have been to the mountaintops of Calvary. We have been to Tumpuna. We have been to Arima Central. We have been to Omera. We have been to Malabar. And all the people are saying it is time for change. I want to say a special good night to the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Senior Counsel and next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Arima, W. Mera, you all asked for it. Kamla Persad-Bissessar is coming to the Arima Borough and she will be here. And what I see here is a filled hall, only standing room. I have to say that tonight, Arima Borough has spoken, and they have spoken with a loud voice. We have heard 3 winning candidates for the UNC. And allow me now, as I welcome Ryan Diaz, a successful business owner, 15 years of experience in media and graphic design. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Marketing. And tonight, he is one of our UNC Spartans. Hence why he comes with a shield. He's here to secure your future. He is here to secure your families. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ryan Diaz, candidate and next councillor, Arima West, Omera.
Good evening, my UNC and NTA family. Good afternoon, Mr. Austin Jack Warner, Mr. Gary Griffith. A special good afternoon to the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I can't hear you. Good evening, everyone. Somewhere inside all of us is the power to change the world. I stand before you not just as a UNC warrior, but as a fellow citizen who shares your dreams, aspirations, and concerns. We are here together because we all believe in the power of progress and the potential of our community. Together, we have the ability to transform Arima into a prosperous and harmonious haven for everyone. On August 15th, the sun will rise to a new day and a new beginning for the people of Arima. Psalms 30 states, "For his anger lasts for a moment, but his favor lasts for a lifetime. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." I met many people on my walkabouts in Arima West. With so many issues left undone, I saw many smiles, sadness, poverty, and shame. So many youths literally crying out for opportunities to build a better life. With the absence of proper guidance and direction, what will they do? Look around for the last decade. How much has Arima developed? Look at our parks. Look at our savannah. The lack of street lighting. Look at the Arima market. How long must the vendors beg and beg for a roof to cover their heads? Do you remember the days of water 24/7? What about the Samara Village Bridge caving in and posing a danger to cars and pedestrians? Yet after so long, nothing is being done. What about the unfurnished community center in Carib Homes? Never completed in 10 years. Where has our money gone? We all know that a solid infrastructural foundation is essential for any community to flourish. Together, we can redesign an Arima that connects the people, commerce, and ideas, spurring economic growth and enhancing the overall quality of life for everyone who calls this borough home. But unfortunately, this reality has become much harder to achieve, with criminals robbing, terrorizing, and killing law-abiding citizens for crumbs. Studies have shown that there is a correlation between an increase in crime and economic inactivity. Is it a coincidence that according to the crime statistics, the annual murder rate has always been higher when the PNM is in power? That is a fact, not fiction. But don't worry, your UNC, NTA, councillors work tirelessly with law enforcement, community organizations, and educational institutions to tackle crime at its roots. Safety and security are the birthrights of every individual, and our collective responsibility is to create a safe environment for our families and children to thrive. Is the gap between the rich and the poor getting wider? Do you see the possibility of cost of living and crime spiraling further under control under the PNM? Why celebrate underperformance and underachievement with big trucks and block parties? There are many folks, especially single mothers, with nothing to feed their hungry children. We will partner with local businesses to offer apprenticeships and vocational training, empowering our youth with the skills they need to compete in the job market to pursue their dreams. Education is the bedrock of progress and the key to unlocking the full potential of our people. We will advocate for increased funding for schools, ensuring every child has access to a quality education. Arima West Umera, it's now or never. When we look back, will we be proud of who we voted for in 2023? Together, we can make a difference. On August 14, we must teach the PNM an unforgettable lesson that we no longer will accept mediocrity. We no longer will we accept underperformance. No longer will we allow Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley to neglect the people and remain in control of our future. So, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your neighbor, let us send a clear message to the PNM. Enough is enough. It is time. Stand your ground, TNT. Secure your family, secure your country, secure your future. Vote for a party that has your best interests at heart. Vote for performance. Vote for a brighter tomorrow. Vote for a candidate who wants the best for each and every one of you. Because a better plan leads to a better future. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Yes, 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 yes. Arima, that is what you will have as a councillor. Let me say a special good night to Mr. Austin Jack Warner. I want to say a good night to Captain Gary Griffith. My brothers and sisters, I bring to you now a gentleman who already doing the work as a counselor. He helping people fixing their roofs. He has been helping people with their homes. He's been helping people with physiotherapy. He already seems he's going to be counselor. He's going to be counselor. He is also bringing his experience and being part of the military, being a very decorated man of the defense force. I bring no other than the next counselor, the man who will beat Sheldon Garcia, Mr. Nigel Moses, counselor for Arima Central.
This evening, Arima very quiet, boy. This is not the Arima I know. Rhythm section, go again. Arima, make some noise! All right, pleasant evening to the honorable political leader. All protocols observed. This is one of the most important meetings that I've been to because of what is happening in Arima. I want to hear Arima Central make some noise! And I would like everyone to repeat after me. Enough is enough. One more time. Enough is enough. Our burgesses of Arima Central have been suppressed and malnourished by the callous Rowley government. As a father, a brother, a child of God, my heart cringes when I hear the cries of my Arima burgesses. Someone was murdered after purchasing bread because he was out too late. Imagine that. After 7 p.m., he was shot and killed. That's on the train line. We have the highest crime in the areas of Daniel, Hailey, train line. We have unfair distribution of water. We have neglect of the elderly, physically impaired, and underprivileged. And like my opponent, bread cannot solve those problems. Enough is improper infrastructure, drainage, street lights, lack of maintenance and upgrading of parks and recreational facilities. However, election come and you find the manpower, equipment and finance to sort out all these issues. Enough is the educational system crashed since the pandemic. Many of our children, who are the future of our country, have dropped out of primary schools, yet no implementation of homework centers, not even a visit from the then counselor to identify and address the issues. Due to the crime surge, our burgesses are living under siege with house breakings and violation of our women. Enough is. Tonight, I, Nigel Moses, is here representing the most diverse party. I am here to work hand in hand with the burgesses of Arima Central and eradicate this Pharaoh administration. To my burgesses, I give you the assurance that once elected, my doors will be open to you. My visits to your homes will be limitless as we work together on issues and upgrading our communities. Enough is. Unlike previous, I am not going to deceive you wearing a yellow shirt with a red hat. I am Nigel Moses, your next UNC counselor, and my heart is for the people of Arima. Enough is. I have worked with youth that this Pharaoh government has turned their backs on. I have worked with youths in areas that this Pharaoh has forsaken. I have succeeded in showing them a better way of life, and they have achieved good education, international scholarships, discipline, and respect for their adults. So enough is.
And my message to the constituents of Arima, this group of UNC and NTA candidates are working tirelessly together to bring the constituents of Arima out of bondage and mental slavery that this Pharaoh government has us under. Our aim is to part the Red Sea, take back our community, and destroy all the fishes in the sea, and take Arima Central back to where it belongs. Enough is. I thank you.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC.
Ah, yes, indeed, folks. A round of applause again for our candidates. At this time, we're going to introduce someone who's going to introduce our NTA candidates, a man who has given us an insightful perspective of our local politics, all on social media, always willing to have a conversation in the interest of the country. UNC NTA family, please put your hands together and welcome on stage Dr. Kevin Saran.
Pleasant good night, everyone. We have exactly 4 more days left for local government elections. History is about to be made in Trinidad and Tobago. We are going to break the record for the most amount of regional corporations ever won by any political entity. As I was walking in here tonight, a young child came up to me and he said, the code is blue and yellow. So I want to ask you guys a question tonight. What is the code? The code is blue and... One more time. The code is blue and... I want to introduce one of our 2 candidates for the area of Arima. Please put your hands together for a candidate for Malabar South. Welcome, Mr. Joel Fernandez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Esteemed members of the Malabar Arima community. Today I stand before you as someone who has cherished and called this wonderful place home through my entire life. My roots run deep in this community, even though my father's lineage hails from San Juan. I'm more connected, to the rich history and heritage that surrounds us this far east. I take immense pride in my role as a husband and father, having spent 18 beautiful years with my wife, 6 of these years as a married man. Together, we have raised 2 remarkable teenagers whom lights up our lives. This experience has instilled in me a profound appreciation of the importance of family and unity. In 2012, I took a step that turned out to be life-changing for me. I became a small business owner. My venture in the food and security sector has not only contributed to my family well-being, has also given me the privilege to interact with this community on a broader scale. Throughout these interactions, I recognize a pressing need, a need to support our youths who face limited opportunities and avenues to unleash their full potential. My commitment to the well-being of our community particularly the young generation, has been a driving force behind my endeavors. As a father of a 15-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter, I keenly aware of the aspirations and challenges and dreams the young people hold. It is my heartfelt belief that together we can create an environment that empowers them flourish. With this vision in mind, I propose initiatives that center around family togetherness and community engagement. Hosting events such as sports days and family gathering will not only strengthen the bond between us, but also provide platform for shared experiences and joyous memories. I advocate for the establishment of community groups, including a community crime watch, youth groups, and sport clubs. These initiatives are crucial to both safety and the development of our youths. Furthermore, let us work towards reviving community centers, turning them into vibrant hubs of activity and learning. It's evident that our parks need attention, and I am committed to investing in the maintenance. Our families deserve spaces where they can spend quality time together, creating a lasting connection and fostering a sense of belonging. I've heard the concerns of the fellow residents, and I pledge to address them. Access to clean water, the issue of snails, potholes, the necessity of speed humps. I mean, children running in the street, playing, whatever. I mean, when it comes to the drivers, oh my Lord, we need those speed humps. They cry out for that. By working together, we can find practical solutions and ensure that our community remains a place where we all can be proud to call home. In conclusion, I stand before you not only as a business owner, but as a devoted member of the community who is deeply invested in its growth and prosperity. Let us join hands together, empower our youths, strengthen our families, and create a vibrant, safe, and united Malabar Arima. Together we can pave the way for a brighter future for generations to come. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you so much for that very moving speech, Joel. So I want to tell you guys, we have been in election mode for the last couple of months. And I have been trying to get a UNC flag for the longest time. That is how hard it is to get. You have a better chance of finding $100 on the floor. People hold these things close to their heart. So let's hear it for the UNC LGE. I want to introduce our next candidate from the area of Calgary. Please put your hands together for Ms. Arima Oliver.
Guys, you all really know how to move a crowd. UNC, Jazzy, Atiba, really hard to follow you all. I'm a small person, right? I'm petite. Everybody want to know who is this person? Who is Arima Oliver? Arima Oliver is your candidate for Arima Calvary representing the National Transformation Alliance. You might look at me and say, who's this my girl, you know? People mistake me for Canadian, Arabian, all these different things, you know, but I am Arima. I went to Arima Girls RC School, Arima Central Secondary, Arima North Secondary, and I have a bachelor's degree in education. That wasn't easy to come by. When I was pursuing my bachelor's degree, I was a young mother. All right, I was pregnant, doing this thing full time, right, and also had a part-time job holding it down. So even though you see me small, quiet demeanor, and I have a heart, a loving heart. And the unyielding determination to overcome any obstacle. You see me in front of you here. I've never been on a stage. Nobody expected me to ever be in a forum like this, right? But it is all because I've just had enough. And I'm sure you have had enough. And this entire country has just had enough. And enough is enough. Now, as a prospective councillor, meeting my burgesses, listening to their complaints, their hopes, their dreams, you know, I quickly became very annoyed with the representative, right? The people's needs were not being met. Their complaints were completely being ignored, right? They were, people had become so discouraged, they weren't really sure whether or not they would vote. It was the same old politics. It appeared they had lost hope. You know, wasn't even sure they would vote or not. They was convinced that nothing would change. No water for days upon days, unpaved roads, lack of street lights, tall grass, broken pavements, rubbish all over the place, dilapidated parks, unemployment, crime, the list goes on. And it has been so for quite some time. You know, on this journey, my heart would break each day. I really couldn't sleep. You know, all I could think about is ways in which we could, you know, fix this. And sometimes I would visit my manager Warren and ask, you know, and then he would come to say, he would tell me, Frema, don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions. And I have the solutions. Correction, the NTM team has the solutions. And when you vote for the National Transformation Alliance, you are voting for a change. You are voting for betterment. Our visionary leader, Gary Griffith, embodies integrity and honor. But the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar is akin to Mother Lakshmi. And let us not forget Jack Warner, a guiding figure which is much like the Godfather, lending his unwavering support. So my commitment to Calvary knows no bounds. I pledge to be your guiding light, your beacon, and together we will emerge from the darkness like the rising sun. All you have to do is believe.
Yeah, baby, you know. So, here we go. Somebody say
yes, indeed. How could you not feel the love? How can you not feel the love? A round of hands for the entire team, please. And that's... All right, folks. And that's what it's all about, people connecting. People who understand, who are in sync with the issues, not an uncaring, unloving government. And when you talk about someone who understands the people, who is in sync with their needs, a man who led and driven and engineered by passion, a man since returning to the fold and into the political arena has caused the PNM to have some sleepless nights. It's no longer conversations with the Prime Minister, it's apologies with the Prime Minister, it's sorry for this and sorry for that. But come next week, Monday, there will be no apologies as we wipe them out. There will be no talking, there will be voting. A man who has served the people and delivered to the people in the past, whether it be single mothers, students, UNC, NTA family, Arima, please put your hands together and welcome a man who is loved by many, but for some reason has Dr. Rowley not sleeping well at night at all. Put your hands together, Arima, and welcome on stage, Mr. Austin Jack Warner!
Thank you. Very, very impressive indeed. I want to say welcome to all of you and to my colleague, Gary Griffith, as well as to political leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and all those persons who are here tonight, as well as those of you who are not here and are listening outside. I had planned tonight not to say anything about or to Dr. Rowley. But he has forced my hand. He has forced my hand. And you know, in the little time I have at my disposal, I can't say all I want to say. So I'll just say a little to explain to you the foolishness which not only what he said in San Grande last Tuesday, but what even Eddie Hart himself has said. I didn't mind Eddie Hart so much because I said he didn't take his tablets. And I could understand. But I am concerned about a man who I assume took his tablets, who drove from Port of Spain to Sangre Grande to sit down on a white couch and talk me bad. It's the same man who went to Palo Seco, from St. Anne's to Palo Seco, again on a white couch, talking to his subjects, King Rowley, Louis XVI. Thank you.
From all kinds of sources, and all of them still can't kill me now. You see, as them sink me on the ice floe, ride out the storm, them just like a boat. So as they box me down, so I get up. They have to wonder how others get up. And every crack I see, I just see through. And by the help of God, I just get through. I just want stop. I feel like Hulk. Trample them, trample them, things does come before blessings, but we have to be patient, yeah. Weeping and mourning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God the way the night go, so you don't really need to lie down. Them say what goes around comes right back around. I go wait until my time come. So from sun up straight to sunset, you could catch I bus in a sweat. I must climb up. I feel like hope. Move any mountain, I trample any building like hope. Man better than monster, dismantle any structure, boy. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Rip up my shot and bust up my jeans and step on my problems. Then what we gonna do? Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out them, kick out my problems, kick out my problems. You see, the Most High never give us more than we can bear, but He give us the strength and the will and the power and the courage to handle our problems through Him. So on the count of 4, I want everybody step on their problems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them.
Welcome to our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and her husband, Dr. Greg Bissessar. Welcome. So as I was, welcome Khadija, welcome. And of course, my good friend Rudy Singh and Dr. Bolo, welcome. As I was saying, in fact, what I will do is to put my response to Rowley in a press release. Because at the end of the day, it is much too long for me to spend time on the stage here talking about him. Suffice it to say, however, that if I had made a deal with the UNC, I don't understand how a local government election where the central government is Rowley and I could make a deal with the UNC to help me out. I can't understand it. At the end of the day also, I didn't know that the UNC has power over the courts. I know they have the best lawyers in the country. The best. But I didn't know they have power over the courts. But it's only a warped mind, like Dr. Rowley, would think about those things. I have been in FIFA for 30 years. And for 30 years, FIFA has never said anything about me about impropriety. I have helped thousands of persons. Not one has ever said anything about me, of course, except Rowley. But for my sake and his, I will deal with that in a press release and tell you the history of where I am today and why is it the chief magistrate on June 12th, stopped the case and said, put Jack Warner matter on hold. If she said so, how could I make a deal with the UNC? And since she said so on the 12th, she properly, I want to say cuss, but she really didn't cuss. She criticized heavily the PNM lawyers, and she criticized heavily the US lawyers. To date, my last point on Rowley, for now, to date, Rowley's government has paid for 17 lawyers, 7 king counsel and senior counsel. 17 they have paid for with taxpayers' money to get me out of the country, and I'm still here. But more about that another time, because he wants to know why I entered in the belly of the UNC. I will tell him why shortly. My point, however, is that if one were to look at the country and what's happening in the country, you'll understand that you had no choice but to join the UNC. This is a country that has a two-party system. There are some small parties, I admit that, with some bright ideas, but they can't change the scheme of things. You either go with one or the other. 2 parties in the US, 2 parties in Barbados, 2 parties in Jamaica, and in Trinidad, 2 parties, and I chose one, the UNC. Mrs. Bissessar, had made several appeals for national unity, and I responded positively. Don't blame me for that. The fact is, I had a vision of where I want this country to go. But let me talk to you briefly about the People's National Movement pet phrase, local government reform. I don't have the time tonight to tell you. I came here with all the manifesto of the PNM from 1956. And in 1956, they first talked about local government reform. They talked about it in 1971. They talked about it in 1976. In 1981, in 2007. And after 2007, they had Hazel Manning going throughout the country talking about it and so on for over a year. Today, they have done nothing about it but coming to tell you about local government reform. But who gave this country local government reform? Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. What did she do? What did she do? She was the first and only Prime Minister to give councillors, local councillors, office and staff. She gave them that. She gave them access to tax-free vehicles to be able to serve their burgesses. She did that. And she could have done that at central government level. Why hasn't Robbie done that in the last 8 years or anything like that? But he's coming here now to fob off on you local government reform. I said, I got a little susuhan. Well, I hear that's a bad word now. But I got a little susuhan last week. And I bet you, my susuhan, that Rowley will never give you local government reform if it even takes the next 50 years. Because their role is not to share duties. That's not their role. And therefore, at the end of the day, I'm saying, you don't need local government reform to collect garbage. You don't need reform to, of course, see first trace and second trace into Apuna. First trace into Apuna and second trace. The filthiest I've seen. Garbage this high. People there ask me about the MP. I said, don't blame me. Don't blame Kamla. It's your MP. They said to me, Jack Warner, Esmond Ford as a candidate is totally different from Esmond Ford as an MP. It's not the same person. How could they live in the level of filth that they're living in? They asked me. One guy, and of course these days they're patching road like crazy, and they're giving you all kinds of promises, minimum wage to go up, water here, land from Petrotrin. They're giving you a host of things. I said to myself, we should have election every Monday morning. Every Monday morning. But at the end of the day, we are not fools. We are not fools. But let me come to Arima quickly. Arima has been a chartered borough since 1888. To date, Arima is worse off today than she was then. This Arima was the first borough in the country chartered in 88. They had the first town hall. Today, Arima has no town hall. They went in a room behind extra foods. Arima has no municipal police. They went in a space in Dabadi. They have no police post on Inspector Hill in Mount Pleasant. The magistrate court in Arima is a disaster. The market you have heard just now is not covered. And when the cloud makes up, you have to get an umbrella. Don't let you rain fall on just the cloud. You have to have an umbrella. The south gate of the market is closed. Vendors can't sell their fruits. And on top of that, they have no registered taxi stand for Valencia taxis. However, everything Arima has received in the last 15 years, they received from the UNC. The Larry Gomes Stadium, UNC, the Mount Pleasant Bridge, after 30 years, Imbo said it can't be done. How, of course, the mountain will come down. In 6 months' time, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar built it, Mount Pleasant Bridge. The Arima Fire Station has been refurbished. Again, UNC, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. Arima Police Station has been rebuilt. Who again? Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. And even if the new Arima Hospital that they're boasting about was started again by Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. In fact, this school where you are in right now was built by Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. And I can go on and on and on to remind Arimians that though they didn't vote for her, she built it for them. She built things for them. And therefore, imagine what will happen as from Monday, when, of course, you put her and UNC and NTA in office. In fact, I have a new map of Trinidad and Tobago. Could I see a map, please? A new map of Trinidad and Tobago, as from Monday. You see, Fali has taken Tobago. Kamla will take Trinidad, and all what we will have is the and. So he will be Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the and. And if by chance I see Fali's quarreling, he doesn't want Trinidad licensed inspectors in Tobago, no problem, he could be right or wrong, that's his business. He doesn't want them in Tobago. I tell Fali tonight, take one Tobago from here and give us all 4 licensing inspectors. No problem. If he doesn't want them, that's okay. But save us, because this country is going through serious pain. Serious pain. And to cure the pain, we have to remove the evil. We have to remove the evil. As I conclude, I want to say that no prime minister in the history of this country has ever had so many foreign events to bolster his image. Rowley had CARICOM Crime Summit, flop. He had CARICOM anniversary for 50 years, flop. He had King from Ghana, I can't remember. That flop. In fact, Rowley sat on the chair next to the king, as if he was a king. And poor Stuart Young only peeping through so behind his eating and so on. But that flop. And then he called for Commonwealth Games. You have more people here tonight than for the whole week of those games. It ends tomorrow. Flop. Flop. Because of the Commonwealth Games that ends tomorrow, he called the election on the 14th, hoping that will build him up somewhat. It did not. It did not. In fact, a friend told me that if even Rowley asked for help from Nicholas Puran, he still would flop. He still would flop. So therefore, as I conclude, I want to make 2 quick points. I want to tell our colleagues who are here and who are listening that you are voting for the UNC and the NTA. You're not voting for the UNC NTA. Where you go to a polling station and you see UNC, you will not see NTA. And where you see NTA, you will not see UNC. But vote for UNC or NTA at any cost. That's not too difficult. I am also asking all my ILP members who are still wavering and so on to come on board. Come on board. It is too crucial a time to sit on the fence, my ILP members. Many of you are still uncertain. Put aside your grievances, real or imagine, and come back home. Come back home. And in the end, I ask you, I plead with you, let us save TNT. Let us save this country. Don't tote, just vote.
Yes, indeed, folks. Another round of applause for Mr. Austin Jack Warner. And a pleasant good night to our political leader, leader of the opposition, Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and Dr. Gregory Bissessar. Pleasant good evening. And also greetings from my colleagues on the ground report, Dr. Rowley's favorite radio program, Andy Pitbull Williams and Lennox Smith. I want to introduce the next speaker, who is going to introduce his political leader, UNC NTA family. Arima, put your hands together for Brother Insaf Inatula.
Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Mikey. Good evening, NT and UNC family. Well, today I have the easiest job of the night. Tonight I was asked to introduce someone who introduction whatsoever. Tonight I am introducing someone who understands that power is not about talking and blah-blahing and playing golf on the golf course, but someone who understands that power is about action. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to the stage the political leader of the National Transformation Alliance, my political leader, Captain Gary Griffith.
Opposition leader and political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC, and Dr. Bissessar, members of Parliament of the United National Congress, the previous Minister of Works and Transport and previous National Security Minister, who he said was the best National Security Minister, so I guess I came a close second, Jack Warner. Executive and constituency members, candidates, members of the UNC, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, to all here and to the hundreds of thousands who are listening as well. It has been a long, long campaign. I have seen a lot, I have heard a lot, I have walked a lot. In fact, at times I felt I was like Forrest Gump, doing a lot of walking. But I was walking with a purpose. And whilst walking with the candidates of the UNC and the NTA, I walked from Diego Martin all through Port of Spain, San Juan Lavantil, Tunapuna, Piarco, Arima, San Fernando, Sangre Grande, and everywhere that you were going, you were hearing one thing: enough is enough, and it is time for change. And the last time Arima went away from the PNM was in 2010, when Kamla Persad-Bissessar had that vision and that understanding to unite the different parties, and that is what she has done again. And we can do the same thing in 2010, and we'll do it on Monday. The PNM, they are yet again on the ropes. They are backpedaling, and you all would have seen, for all the persons who have been campaigning, usually the PNM, they are very aggressive. Now they are backpedaling, they will hide behind the curtain, show a little red flag, the one in every 50, 60 odd. And it says a lot. And it is important for the 7 UNC and NTA candidates. You as the candidates here, you have to finish the job. They are on the ropes. And we have to be we have to understand and ensure that there is no confusion. Jack Warner just mentioned it, and let us be very careful and understand how important it is for each and every member, supporter of the UNC and the NTA to do what is right on Monday. So there are 5 UNC candidates come August the 14th in Arima. And in those 5 seats, there will be no NTA candidate. So I am asking all the supporters of Gary Griffith, all the supporters previously of the ONR, the NAR, the COP, and the NTA, those persons of that bridge constituency, for those 5 UNC candidates in Arima, vote for the UNC candidate. You go to the polling booth, you will see the UNC symbol. You vote for that candidate. And to those voting in the 2 districts for the NTA candidates in Arima, there will be no UNC candidate there. So I ask all the UNC supporters to vote for the NTA candidate. You will see the symbol of the lighthouse with the triangle. Vote for the NTA candidate. And the same throughout the country. Throughout the country, understand, as Jack just stated, you are not going to see an NTA, the NTA and the UNC symbol at the same time. So when you get in there, you're looking either for the UNC or the NTA. So for the 300,000 plus UNC supporters, you look for that symbol of either the UNC or the NTA throughout Trinidad. And the same thing with the NTA supporters. We work together and we can and would win Arima. Now, the last time there was good local government representation in Arima, as I said, was in 2010 to 2013. Mr. Warner just mentioned just a small amount of what was done to transform Arima during that period. And everywhere I went, again, you're hearing, the only time you saw proper governance in local government was that period of 2010 to 2013, when we had persons from the UNC and the then People's Partnership as councillors. And what happens now is that the PNM, they are using a system and words called local government reform. Vote for us for local government reform. Let me explain, that is a lie. Regardless of the result on Monday, that can still take place. I actually had the document here, and thank you, Jack, for stealing my thunder. I had the same document. I thought it was a bombshell. Since 1956, they have been blowing that trumpet about local government reform. It is a lie, and regardless of what happens, whether PNM lose 14-0, they can still continue with that so-called government reform. But it is not government reform that requires good governance. It requires good leadership. Because in 2010 to 2013, we didn't have this government reform. But you saw the councillors of the UNC and the COP at the time performing. So it is not about government reform. It is about leadership. It is about accessibility. It's about getting the job done. And we did it in 2010 to 2013, and we'll do it in Arima again. I know that, as I said, there is also another concern I have I want to bring to your attention. If it is that you want to send that loud and clear message on August the 14th, and you are not going to vote for the PNM, voting for any other political party other than the UNC or the NTA candidate, it is indirectly going to be a vote to help the PNM. As I mentioned, when you take red and you wash it several times, you will get orange. That orange PNM B team, they are there to deliberately ensure that they're going to get no more than 50, 60, 70 votes. But that can be the difference, because you know local government election. You know that sometimes you could win or lose by 10 or 20 votes. So please do not get caught with that PNM B team, that orange team. Have you noticed that not once has anyone in the PNM during this long campaign said anything about that party? So you know exactly what is going on. They speak about Kamla Persad-Bissessar, they speak about Jack, they speak about Gary, they talk the UNC, they talk the NTA. In fact, I remembered when I was in the People's Partnership, Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the Prime Minister, we had something known as a post-cabinet briefing. And guess what the post-cabinet briefing was for the media? To speak about decisions made in cabinet. For 8 years, this excuse for a Prime Minister, he has post-cabinet briefings to bad talk the UNC, to try to defend himself and to buff the media. So there's been nothing that you can see about post-cabinet briefing. He did it again today. Today was to buff Saddam, to buff Jack, to buff everyone, and nothing pertaining to what did you do? You just came out of cabinet. What have you done to be able to make life better for citizens of this country? What cabinet note have you done? It shows the man's incompetence. So he now utilizes a post-cabinet briefing as a political platform to help the PNM instead of showing what can be done to help the country. So all that matters for you all to decide, and to Trinidad and Tobago, to the citizens here, who you vote for on August the 14th has to do with one word: performance. The PNM could outfinance us in this campaign, but they cannot outperform us. And we look at some of the things that Jack Warner spoke about. You go back to the concerns we have seen in this country. The PNM have never achieved. They have never delivered. The PNM B team, plenty talk, but what have you done? What have you ever accomplished? Absolutely nothing. And I ask you to judge us by what we have achieved. That is all that is important, the achievement. So when you look at that type of leadership of the persons in the UNC and the NTA, that is what it is. It is to achieve. So you look at Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for example, not just qualification, but her background of her being second to none, highly qualified and experienced, knowledgeable in law, education, social, community development, myself, national security, the judicial system, and even sport. People not be aware that I actually represented my country on several occasions traveling with national teams. I think Arnold Roberts and myself and probably one other member of parliament have been the only 3 politicians that have represented Trinidad and Tobago. So I know the importance of sport. So when you look now and you compare that to Keith Rowley, his talent and qualification is to look at the texture of stones and whether it's sedimentary, metamorphic, what? No, I'm speaking about rocks and stones and stuff. So that is his qualification. And how can that help a country? And his personality speaks for itself. So what is more important is what you see what Kamla Persad-Bissessar and myself, we will bring to the table. Have the passion to lead, to manage, to serve, to motivate, and to unite a country. You have that choice, or you have the choice of voting for another man who wants to divide the country. I keep stating that you cannot want and expect to serve and lead a country if you hate half of the country. And that is what he has continued to do. Again, when you look at delivery, the biggest concern in this country, as much as the PNM refuse and they will try to sideline it, is your most fundamental right, which is that of safety and security. And you would have seen what was achieved under Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the Prime Minister. It was the highest reduction in serious crime in 30 years. And that wasn't by chance. The things that she was able to implement from the National Operations Center, the Rapid Response Unit, the National Security Special Operation Group, the Community Comfort Patrol, and putting things in place to peg back criminals, and we felt safer. It is not accidental that from 1991 to this present moment, every single year that the PNM is in government, crime goes up. And every single time that they are not in government, it goes down. The only one year was when I was Commissioner of Police. I did them a favor. So then when you go back again, the man continues to mislead the country. Lie after lie after lie. He said the United States said that we must form a new vetted unit. I liaise with United States officials still because they are totally disappointed in the man. They never said that. They said that they need to work with a vetted unit. We had vetted units. It was the National Security Special Operation Group under the People's Partnership. It was shut down. I then formed the Special Operation Response Team. It was vetted. And the lies that the US pulled back the funding, they never funded that sort. What they wanted is to shut it down because they were concerned that SORT was pegging back criminal elements. You realize that under SORT, when I was commissioner, no home invasions. We put an end to kidnapping for the first time, and criminals were pushed back. Human trafficking came to an end. They shut down SORT to bring this all back. Look, and again, it goes back, I asked you to look at performance, technology we put in, polygraph testing, body cameras, dashboard cameras, all of these things. The moral of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service was at an all-time high. Now it is at an all-time low. He didn't even bother to say thank you to the police officers after 30 of them lost their lives and the performance they did during COVID. So their track record of security is nothing. They have been weighed, measured, and found wanting. What happens, however, is when you have a prime minister that wants to control the police, direct the police, manipulate the police, that is what is known as democratic dictatorship. When it is a prime minister could give $45 million to a commissioner, direct him who to hire in the United Kingdom, and then direct him as to what investigation should take place. These are dangerous times in this country. And again, going back to certain matters, that Brent Thomas issue, I was a Minister of National Security and a Commissioner of Police. The government is lying. No police officer could leave this country unless approval was given by politicians. So they lied to the country. But guess what? It will soon enough. That commission of inquiry would come, and it will take just 4 days. The same thing with that meritless and Blissy Prasad. She's going to court, and when she goes on that witness stand, we are going to ask her who influenced or intimidated you to break the law. So if it is that to you or everyone here in Arima, if you want a safer Arima, if you want your fundamental right of safety and security to be adhered to, I ask you to vote for those 7 UNC and NTA candidates on Monday. The decision is yours. I just have a few minutes left, and I know Keith Rowley continues to speak. Every single time he speaks, it's about who's thief and who corrupt. But let me again re-emphasize, there are 2 political leaders here tonight And none of us have ever been hauled before the Integrity Commission on 2 occasions for investigations. None of us have had a minister who was charged under my watch as commissioner, and she is still running the corporation in the election campaign. I wouldn't call her name. We have a government where it is you had another minister that was removed from office and you gave him a diplomatic position. You have another that decided to try to pump over 140,000 cash into a bank, and it was still being investigated. You have another that was being investigated by the special branch with a damning intelligence report. So Keith Rowley, anytime you want to speak about questionable activity, you need to look in Balise House. And let me tell you something. And before I close, he continues to speak about the police service having a well-oiled criminal industry with FULs. That is a lie. It was an excuse to shut it down. Because 2 years later, 2 years since that took place, not one person has been arrested. 7,000 police officers, 1.4 million citizens, 4,000 persons issued firearms, 51 firearm dealers. Not one person has been arrested for any bribery or corruption during the period when I was Commissioner of Police. But he continues to push that agenda because he did not want the law-abiding citizens to be armed. He didn't want to give you all a fighting chance. However, himself, his Minister of National Security, and a previous acting Commissioner of Police, over 70 requests for firearms. In fact, one of those 3 actually asked for me to get a firearm to empty the clip to kill his pigs and use the process of elimination to know who that was. And it shows the individual hypocrisy. Keith Rowley, if you have a problem with firearms, you and every one of your ministers and your friends in high places who got firearms, return it, but you wouldn't do that. So I give you the assurance that if it is you want your fundamental right of safety and security, send that loud and clear message on August the 14th. Let it be known that you want to vote for the UNC or the NTA. Send that message to Keith Rowley. Give yourself a fighting chance. Arima, make it happen on Monday. I thank you.
A round of applause again for the NTA political leader, Captain Gary Griffith. At this time, we welcome from the Flaming Word Ministry, the choir on stage. Please give them a round of applause.
Good evening, Arima. Can we get an Arima shout? Good evening. It has been a journey. You know, we are from the Flaming Word Ministry, as just mentioned. It has been a journey for us because we have been here to sing about the goodness of God in the land of the living. And I want, you know, on behalf of Flaming Word Ministry to let you know that we serve a good God, and all of us deserve as citizens to experience, not only see, but experience and see the goodness of God. So we ask you to join us as well as we sing the goodness of God. Hallelujah. Have been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. Sing with us. All my life
I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. All over this place it's running. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Hallelujah. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. Every breath I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. Glory to God! Thank you so much. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you, Flaming Word Ministry. Let's give it up for them. Thank you so very much. One day, in my next life, I might be able to sing how Flaming Word Ministry sang tonight in my next life. So, UNC family, Arima, to my distinguished colleagues who are here, all members of the UNC family, to the prodigal son who has returned to the UNC, Mr. Jack Warner, to my brother, Captain Gary Griffith, leader of the NTA, and indeed all the others who are in this massive crowd here tonight. I want to start by making it very clear, by telling you, the people of Arima and environs, what everybody already knows. I love my country. I love Trinidad and Tobago. I love my country. And we are holding this, the last of our meetings, the regional meetings, and when we are done here tonight, the UNC family, the NTA family, we would have talked to all the electors of all 14 regional corporations. All 14.
The other parties have not even reached Superior. They have not come to Penal Debe Corporation. They have not gone to Princestown Corporation. They have not, yeah, they're afraid. I think they've already thrown up their hands in the air and are accepting defeat on Monday. So we hold this meeting here in this Royal Chartered Borough of Arima to let you know that in the house of the rising sun, you have a special place in the house of the rising sun. We want you to know that your concerns, your issues, your ideas matter to us. Tonight I want Arima to know we are here to secure your future. Secure your future. At the end of this meeting, Team UNC and Team NTA and I would have visited, as I said, and spoken to burgesses, electors in all 14 corporations. So that includes, as we work to secure a nation, to secure every community, every household, every family. I ask you to give our candidates a chance to secure Arima. Vote for your NTA candidate. Vote for your UNC candidate. Secure Arima. Let us ensure the children from Calvary, to Akbarali, from Malabar South to Broadway are all able to live in a safe community once more. We will secure all the children of Arima. Let us ensure that the mothers, the youths, the fathers of Samaru Village to Christina Gardens all have opportunities for success. Let us ensure that every family from Richard Trace to Digan Street, from Tumpuna Road to Ajam Baksh, from Umera to Maurice Avenue, that they can all sleep safe at night. And we are a very dynamic group of candidates. You have a chance. Arima, you have the chance to vote for yourself when you vote UNC or NTA. Mr. Wall and Mr. Griffith has explained, you will not see the UNC symbol and the NTA symbol on the same ballot paper. So you have no choice, but one choice. When you see the NTA on that ballot paper, you put your X next to it. And I know the code is what? What is our code? Code is yellow. And code blue. But remember, when you go in that voting booth, you are not going to see yellow and you're not going to see blue, because it's all in black and white. And when you get there, and I've been voting so many years, I don't care to how many years, I'm not going to give away my age tonight. I've been voting many, many times. And even when I go into that voting booth, I'm so worried that I put the X in the wrong place. So take your time. Take your time. Don't let your hand tremble. Be clear and sure that you put the X next to the rising sun, or you put it next to the NTA symbol on voting day. So, you know, when you love something or someone, when you love people deeply, you will always be willing to fight for them. You'll be willing to stand up for them. When you love your country, you are willing to make the hard choices. You are willing to make sacrifices. Tonight I want to say the UNC, the NTA and I, we are willing to stand up to whatever and whoever comes at us for loving our country. And that is the foundation of this local government election campaign. That is the foundation. Love is at the heart. When I come on this platform, I tell you, light up the criminals. That statement comes from a place of love. Ask yourself, what would you do? What would you do to protect your family? What would your own mother or father do to protect you? You know, and I know a mother or father, those who love you, they will fight for you. They will stand up to anyone to protect you. That is what love is. So what do we say? Stand your ground, light them up, light them up, light them up. Since the PNM, Gary said it tonight, I want to repeat it, it's very important. Since you are against our policies, I ask all citizens to do something for us. When the PNM candidates come to your door campaigning, ask them a simple question. A very, very simple question. Ask them, what should you do when criminals are invading your home to rob and rape and murder your family? Ask the candidate, what should I do? Ask them. And their answer will be none. They have no answer to the crime that is taking place. Simple question. What does this PNM want you to do? Ask all the weak men and women who are against you defending yourselves, what should you do? They don't want you to defend yourself. On the other hand, when we return to government, I will offer a gun amnesty, Gary. We will offer a gun amnesty to all the PNM MPs and commentators who have legal guns, so they can come and give back the guns. Give it back, give it back, give it back. Give it back. The government MPs can easily contact the parliamentarians at that time for guidance to dispose and go drop off their matic and the mops. That's the word, Gary, matic and mops. You really think I don't know about the matic weapon somebody dropped off at mops? Let me tell you. We know which dealer sold it. We know the minister who bought it. We know which senior officer organized for the minister to get rid of it. We know the officer who dealt with it at MOPS. And we also know, one moment, we know the serial number. We are just waiting. When the news broke about automatic weapons and rowdy sale make it illegal, it was already illegal, as Gary told. It was already against the law. But the minister gets so frightened when rowdy started to talk about this matic. The fella find a way to drop it off, hide and send it back to the police at MOPS. So to citizens involved, be careful you end up like the 3 officers involved in the Brent Thomas scandal. I urge all the weak men and women in positions of influence to give back your legal firearms, since you're against citizens having legal firearms. Give it back. Gary told us, give it back now. Give it back now. If you are against these policies, you should not be protected, whilst everybody else has to face the criminals single-handedly. We're in a dangerous place in this country. We no longer only have different opinions. This government, weak men and women, are living in different realities from the rest of people. They just don't care about you. Last Monday I said, they don't see you. Today I say, it's not only they don't see you, they do not care about you. They don't care about you being forced out of your homes by gangsters. They don't care that your children are under self-imposed curfew in hotspot areas. They don't care that your mothers and fathers being cursed, beaten, insulted by gangsters. They don't care that your small businesses, you are being extorted by criminals. It's called coward money. So they extort money, they tell you, give me money, and if you don't do it, I'm coming to damage your business, I'll burn it down. They threaten you, extortion money. The government and weak men and women, they just don't care. Tonight we reach out, and I speak to you, and I am condemned. They don't want for us to identify with you or speak to you. I am condemned because I'm trying to reach out and speak to our youth and to our marginalized persons. I am condemned because I try to speak a language of reality and honest. I am condemned because I'm standing in defense of the ordinary people of our country who are being terrorized by government and by criminals. I reach out because I care. We care. I identify with many things you are going through. I was young once, living in poverty and difficulty with my parents. We struggled. So I was there, been there, done that. I saw an interview where a local artist put out a recorded video. It was about a year ago. And I understand the realness of what he was saying. Can we get it up on the screen, please?
I was like, when I home and see that, I was like the laughing stock. Everybody does laugh at me. Party piper, they used to call me because my father was a piper. My father actually died on the streets. He was a vagrant smoking cocaine. Everybody call me party piper. I go in party in one shoes, one pants, one jersey for months. And just standing up behind Hottie. And
Hottie was juggling all the time?
Yep, just watching them. People will laugh at me. Hey, you gonna be a piper? I actually, sometimes when I used to come outside and things, as I reach out and the block men started laugh at me, I used to just cry and thing and go back inside and thing and stay inside.
So see that young man, what he's saying? Those are the people we want to identify with and understand. We've been there, some of us, done that. I'm trying to engage with young people like him. His dad died. Everyone turned their back on him. They laughed at him. That is why there are those going into lives of crime, but he turned his life around. I know people laughed at my family too, when we were growing up. The weak men and women speak flowery language, but they refuse to reach out and to act. I told you before, every man, every woman who was murdered had a son or a daughter, siblings, nieces, nephews, parents. We must not push these young people away. It is our responsibility as adults to reach out and help. They too are victims of crime. When I was a child, we didn't have a home. I've told you to some of you before. We kept renting and moving from house to house to house. Wasn't a parang time, but we were moving house because we had to get renters where we could. And we had one suit of clothes to go out. Anybody remember those days? You remember? Yeah, man. Many of us, we've been there. And my sisters and I, we would share the same clothing, shoes, books, everything we would share because of that poverty. People laughed at us. I know how that feels. No one cares about you when you're struggling. I know that when I was young, if anybody close to us, family member robbed or murdered, no one would have cared because being normal, ordinary, poor people, working class people, our society has not changed much since then. Only when high-profile people are victims of crime, then you get a big outcry. Look at it. I'm the only one who speaks for the ordinary man. I'm the only one who is still talking about Simeon Daniel, Antonio Francois, who were murdered after they escaped abuse whilst they were in the care of the Children's Authority. I'm the only one standing up for you against the criminals. So tonight I repeat my commitment to the young people of our land. The young people are talking, and it's up to us to listen. I will never look down on our young people like the dictator does. And I was coming here tonight and listened to the candidates on the radio. And one candidate talked about a Pharaoh government. I thought that was such a, which one was it? That was such a, Moses. That was such a, your name is? Moses. So Moses was talking about the Pharaoh government. How fitting, we must wipe out this Pharaoh government. We must move them out of the borough of Arima on Monday. Cast your vote. Cast your votes. So let us repeat our commitment to the young people. I will never look down on our young people. We will not. And that's what the dictator does all the time. How can we help young people if we don't want to listen to what they're saying? What we are doing is shining a light on all the people of our land. We see you. The UNC sees you. The NTA sees you. I see you. Now, I saw a meltdown today on national TV. I think some of you, if you had the time, Gary explained what you call a post-cabinet meeting. That after you finish cabinet, we had started that, post-cabinet briefings to tell citizens, look, We have agreed to do this, we have agreed to do that. Performance-wise, what are the things we will do? This man used national TV from the podium of the Prime Minister to give a personal explanation, a political personal explanation. And on top of that, buff anybody who asked him anything. Buff up all the media at that. It was like a 2-hour meltdown that we were witnessing. And he said he's going to sue, who it is, Saddam? Saddam and Wade Mark. Yes, MP Saddam and Wade Mark. Well, Mr. Rowley, I tell you tonight, come to court and the greatest lawyer in Trinidad will skewer you on the witness box. Anand Ramogan. Come to court, come to court. And whilst I'm about that, the fellow, they say he has rocks in his brains. It's very true. Geologist, rocks in his brain. What nonsense is he talking about? Kamla and Jack making deal about extradition. Rowley, the matter is before the courthouse. It's the courthouse will determine that. There's no deal. We can make no deal. But I think you made a deal with him before, so you know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. We'll expose you. When I say light him up, light him up, light him up, expose him, expose him. So, I don't need anybody to apologize for me. Nobody in our party and in NTA has to apologize. What they have to apologize for is not us. They have to apologize to the children of our country. They must apologize for cutting the Children's Life Fund. They must apologize for closing the Children's Hospital. They must apologize for cutting the laptops. They must apologize for cutting the school feeding program. They must apologize for gutting the gate. They must apologize for cutting free universal preschool education. They must apologize for cutting free textbooks. They must apologize for cutting the TechVoc education. And, yes, I was getting there. That was so close to my heart. They have to apologize for cutting the baby grant. $500. $500. They have to apologize for cutting cerebral palsy grant. Apologize for the abuse and deaths of Simeon Daniel, Anthony Francois. They failed those children. They have to apologize for the murder of a beautiful boy named Kevin Kyle Spring, who was killed by washing a car to make some money for his pocket. That's what they have to apologize for. When I think about those murders of these children, I make no apologies for saying, light up the murderers. Light up the murderers. When I think of the rape and murders of Andrea Barrett and Ashanti Riley, I make no apologies for saying, empty the clip on the kidnappers. Empty it! Empty it! Empty the clip. And after you empty the clip, reload, and fire again. So, when we look at all the home invasions against our elderly, the terrorism of law-abiding people in their homes, we make no apologies for saying, rack it, lock it, knock it, and rack it up, lock it and knock it. Many of our people do not feel a sense of hope against this onslaught of crime, oppression by this government. But they are the government of weak men and women. They do not care to fix our country. They don't care pensioners are being robbed. So I ask you, what would you do in these circumstances? Days ago, in Woodbrook, a 72-year-old woman went to Massey stores, robbed at gunpoint. This poor woman, age 72, went to make groceries and they stuck a gun in her face, take away whatever she had. Ask yourselves, what would you do if that was your grandmother? What would you have done to defend her? These cowards are traumatized. Traumatized. Who this poor woman, pensioner, they did not only take her money, you know, it also devastated her mental well-being. You could imagine the fear in that person now for the rest of her life. Cowardly criminals, I make no apologies. I started tonight to tell you I love my country. Do you love your country? Do you love your country? We will do what we can legally do with laws that will protect you from these cowardly criminals. They rob people when they leave the bank. Now they're robbing you when you're just leaving the supermarket. On Saturday in the heart of Tunapuna, a man was killed outside the Tunapuna market in the middle of Tunapuna. With a policeman just a stone throw away, they shot and killed this man. That man was the son of someone. He was a husband of someone. He was a father of someone who left home and never returned home. Never. What would his family do if we could have protected him? What would you do? When cowards meet strong men, last night, a cowardly criminal, two criminals, went to rob and kill at a bar at Red Hill in Aberdeen. And the cowardly criminals met a brave man. He had a licensed firearm. And what did he do? What did he do? What did he do? Posters on the screen. This brave man stood his ground. He drew his legal firearm. The rest is history. To protect others from the criminals. He stood his ground and protected the innocent people who were there. And I repeat to you tonight, the holy text, the lines taken from the book of Exodus 22:2. I am quoting from the Bible, the holy text. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who killed the thief is not guilty of murder. Not guilty of murder. I repeat, this is a holy book. This is not Kamla and Saddam and Gary Griffith and Jack Warner. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who killed the thief is not guilty of murder. Not guilty. Not guilty. So if the Holy Book tells you to stand your ground, defend the innocent, who is the PNM to tell you otherwise? Because you know who God bless, no man curse. Who God bless, no man curse. This is what we are fighting for. For you to be able to defend your homes and your families. That is what the stand the ground law is. To be able to defend your families in your castle, in your home. There are laws at the moment, but the laws are so vague and uncertain. It dates back to real old English law, the common law it's called, from the days of castles. And that law is vague. So you will remain in suspense that should you act in your own home, in your defense of your wife, children, family, that you could be charged because the law is vague and uncertain. All we are saying is let us give the law teeth that will really truly be able to, like the man, the brave man who took out the criminal, will not have to wake up every morning to worry if you're going to charge him. Then put him in jail from, on a murder charge, no bail. And 10, 15, 30 years you're still in that jailhouse. That should never happen in this country again. So we need, as a people, We need to fight back. We need to fight back. We need to take back control. The dictator is against protecting your family. In the next couple of years, before the general election, there will be more than 1,400 people murdered. There will be more numerous rapes, robberies, home invasions. One of these victims could be you or your family member. I cannot change the law to help you until then, but in the meantime, we can help you through local government to secure your communities. That is why it is important for you to come out and vote on Monday. On Monday, vote to force the dictator to change course and protect you. Vote to force this government to implement UNC plans and policy. And now I'll ask you to take a look at our security plans. Kevin, you can put up the slides, please. Somebody voted for him, I guess. Don't make the mistake twice. Secure TNT. Some of our national plans to secure you include secure communities. Everybody supports restarting community comfort patrols in your communities and surrounding areas. Secure families. Everyone supports our proposal to increase legal gun ownership for you, law-abiding citizens. Secure streets. We support a nationwide plan to restore and improve street lighting in your communities. We must take back control of our streets. Secure schools and our children. We will use the municipal police right here in Arima. When you win that borough candidates, use it in your borough. You have the power, municipal police, to keep our children safe in their schools. Secure jobs. Expand the municipal police. We should hire more municipal police at the local government corporation, thereby creating jobs, but also having a safer, secure environment. People are desperate for jobs. I was going to Grandy recently, not this Monday, the month before, for a meeting in Grandy. And there was this massive traffic jam on the highway going. And I asked, what is going on here? Those were persons who had come from the night before, lining up for jobs at the prison service. They were there at that hour. We were going, it was about 8 p.m. in the night. They had been there, we are told, from midnight before to get a space in the line. People are desperate for jobs, but the government has no policies to create jobs. I've spoken of our plans about that, and I will speak on another time. Secure homes to defend your family is a human right. We support stand your ground law to protect your home and your family. Secure neighborhoods. UNC councillors will support your request to secure communities with gates or barriers to restrict non-local traffic, to secure and enforce noise pollution laws. We will secure the economy. We'll scrap the property tax. We'll stop the upcoming inheritance tax. We will jumpstart investment with lower taxes. You should not pay more taxes. Secure mental health. No passing around a house at night is a neighbor and not a criminal. That is what a gated committee, a restricted committee, local government councillors can do that. A vote for the UNC and the NTA in the local government can give you peace of mind and secure your memory and health, your mental health. Everyone agrees with our plans, and they're ignoring the government's PR gimmicks and just gimmicks. They're a fairy tale. All they have is a fairy tale about local government reform. Weeks ago, when I showed you the dictator's propaganda guidebook, thousands of you across the country had what people call aha moment. That's when people suddenly says, look, everything is all making sense. Everyone in Trinidad and Tobago has always known the dictator always uses destructive and divisive propaganda, but we were not able to articulate it, his methods and his principles. This book now, since we revealed the principles, 9 principles of his strategy of disinformation, here in this guidebook, thousands of you have been using these facts to discern when he spreads the disinformation, because you know what to look for now. You know how to identify them. And if you're not in agreement with our plans, I call on the dictator to tell us what are his plans to protect you. Tell us what to do. He cannot make the choices to protect you. Some will call it a new normal, but there is nothing normal about living in fear. Clear plans from the UNC I've shared with you. And I want you to remember, we are days away from a local election. And up to now, they cannot tell you any hard facts about how they're going to tackle the issues that you're facing, the problems that you're facing. Here, in the people of Malabar, people of Mera, Tumpuna, Arima, all they can tell you, vote for me and I will make you pay more property tax. Vote for us. Our local government reform is property tax. Nowhere in the world does anybody who wants to lead and go into government, nowhere do they tell you, vote for me and I'll take more money from your pocket. Nowhere in the world. Madness and nonsense. Fake local government reform. You had 8 years. What happened? You passed that law almost a year ago in the parliament, the local government law. Nothing implemented except what? One section that he used to not call the election, to postpone the local election until we had to take them up to court to get the elections called. One section, you know. So how many sections we have in that act? Plenty sections. But not one except to postpone elections. So we know what their game is. We are days away, as I say. We have published our clear plans to secure your family. Nowhere have you heard them explain how the fake reform will improve your life. And I will end now and close by saying, what is our code? What is the code? Yellow is the code. What is the code? Blue is the code. So, color me yellow. Color our candidates yellow. Color me blue. Color the candidates blue as we go forward. Yellow is the code, blue is the code. And if they want to color me as dangerous, I am dangerous as I stand to protect our people. Color me dangerously yellow because I want to stop the red blood of our citizens from flowing down on our streets. Yellow is the code. Let me hear you say it again. Yellow is the code. I with our NTA brothers and sisters, blue is the code. Say it loud. Blue is the code. And therefore on Monday, make no mistake, do not sit out this election. I'm asking you not to sit out this election on Monday. I know you feel helpless. I know you might think that no one cares. I know you might think that after the 14th, the rowdy madness of divide and rule will still be in power. But you have to stand up and be counted on Monday by placing your X next to the rising sun and the NTA symbol. You have to come out and send a message to the PNM that they have to change course. We cannot sit on the sidelines anymore. You have to get up. Get up and stand up. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. I promise you this. If the dictator loses Arima in this election, within days, Arima will once again become important to him. All of a sudden you will see road work being done. Arima will have the best roads just like that. Couldn't do it in 8 years. All of a sudden you'll have 24/7 water supply. Earl and Hines will jump out of their sleep and start focusing on crime in Arima because they know if you're willing to come out and vote in a new council in Arima, then they'll be bouncing out of their office a few months because they know it blows, licks like fire, licks like peas in a general election. So understand the power you have. In your hand, you hold the power. If you're sitting in Malabar tonight, make sure and go and vote NTA on Make sure and vote on Monday. If you voted for the PNM all your life, Arima, cast your vote for our candidates. Remind them of the power you have. The same thing applies in Maloney, Bonaire, Five Rivers, Dabadi O'Mara, La Hocketa. Give us a chance to work for you and to Tumpuna Piako Corporation as well. We promise you, not only will our councillors work for you, but the dictator government will suddenly remember that you live and you exist. Use their vote on Monday to remind them that they are important to you and you are important to them. They're hoping that you stay away, you know. They're hoping and you're hearing, but they're despairing. You guys walking on the ground, you will be picking up, people fed up with them. But they're hoping that that fed upness will just remain. I'm fed up, but they're hoping you stay home and don't go out and vote. Don't get chained up with that. You have to go out and vote. They want you to stay away. So if an open-minded citizen, non-political, independent, or even a die-hard PNM on Monday, come to the polls, they put your X next to the UNC or the NTA, we have forced the dictator into changing course. You have the power to change things. You have the power to make this government stand up and take notice. Use this local government to signal what will happen here in Arima, in Tunapuna, in Five Rivers, St. Joseph, Dabadi, Blanchisseuse. Let them know what will happen. Because I am telling you, the UNC and the NT are here, standing our ground, standing up for every one of you. Because why? We love our country. Do you love your country? We love our country. Stay with us. We love our country. And you at home, don't be ashamed to say it with us. I love my country. And I think Ari has been making a point, very important point. A vote for any other party other than the NTA or the UNC, it means you're giving the PNM your vote. So don't get fooled and chained up with any other party. The code is yellow. The code is blue. And remember on Monday, light them up with your voting fingers. Light them up on Monday with your voting fingers. Light them up. I thank you and God bless you. I thank you.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Come let me vote. Stand your ground now for you and your family. This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote. Make sure the children safe in the community. You know the vote. This is the time to secure TNT.
You see the crime and violence, we can't take it no more. And the home invasion of the people insecure.
To secure TNT, UNC is the way to go. So on election day, what to do? Just vote for you. For your family security. Vote for you. For your community security. Vote for you. Just to save your economy. Vote for you. Vote to secure TNT. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Come let me vote. Stand your ground now for you and your family. So let me vote. This is the time to secure UNC. Come out and vote. Make sure the children safe in the community. It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. Everybody know, August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure this. Hey, come let we vote. Stand your ground now for you and your family. Come let we vote. This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote. Make sure the children safe in the community. So we have to vote. This is the time to secure TNT. Hey! Hey!
You see the crime and violence, we can't take it no more.
No more.
And the home invasion, the people insecure.
Insecure, you know. The security and the UNC is the way to go. So the election they want to do that. Vote for you, for your family security.
Vote for you,
for your community security.
vote for you,
for the safety coming on me.
vote for you.